The miles have been run, the mud has been splashed, and the climbs have been climbed. But is the North Face Enduris 4 worth your next trail adventure? Find out in today's full review. Welcome back. I'm Cody with The Shoeing with Cody, and today we got ourselves a good one. We are talking about the North Face Enduris 4. I got this shoe in not too long ago, and I've been racking the miles in. I think I have about 33, 34 miles. I've been putting this thing through the ringer, and I got a lot to say. In this video, I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, and the verdict. Should you buy this shoe? Yeah, this shoe right here. But before I dive into all that goodness, I do need to point out one thing. This shoe was provided to me by the North Face, but they have no idea what I'm going to say in this review, and they have no control over any of the content I do about their products. Now, before I dive into all this goodness, I also have a favor to ask you all. Hit the like button. Smash the subscribe button. You know you want to. Costs you absolutely nothing, but it definitely helps the channel. Now let's sit back, relax, and let's talk about the North Face Enduris 4. Because I'm a positive guy, I'm going to talk about the positives first. And honestly, it all has to start with the foam. It's called Dream Foam, and it's definitely a dream to run in. I'm really digging racking up the miles. I have taken this shoe on a ton of trail runs. I've done muddy runs, clear sky runs, snowy runs, you name it. This shoe has seen the conditions, and honestly, this foam just works in all conditions. It feels fantastic underfoot. I feel fast. I feel responsive. When I need to go slow, handles that. When I want to pick the pace up, it can handle that as well. Getting into the 7s for me, not too hard, but also going in the 9s, it feels comfortable with that, and that's really nice. It does have a plate in this one, like a winged plate and everything like that. And for me personally, I find sometimes plated shoes can't handle slower paces without feel like I'm fighting the shoe. Not the case in this shoe at all. Again, really nice. I really enjoyed this upper, very accommodating, and as you can see, it can take a beating. This is after me putting my shoes in the stream near my house a couple times. This can take a beating. I've taken this on some gnarly trails, East Coast trails, and it's definitely coming out just looking really good. Really like the toe bumper. It's pretty stout here. You can kind of hear that plastic. Kicked a bunch of rocks in this shoe. If you run on the East Coast, you're going to kick rocks and roots and handle it like a champ. No issues at all. Didn't break any toes, and that's freaking awesome. Love the tongue, guts of the tongue, nice and padded. Works really good. And then a very nice stout heel counter. Again, lock it in. Forget the shoe is on. The Enduris 4 just knocks it out of the park for a lot of fantastic things. And another huge one too is a lot of us in the summer are going to be running races where you have creek crossings. Yeah, even though it was cold, I still had some creek crossings, got my feet soaked. I'm talking about soaked, drained extremely well. My feet were able to get warm again, no issues at all. Again, number one highlight for me has to be the Dream Foam. Second has to be this fantastic upper. I get a great lockdown in and no issues at all. Again, this has been the light. I've taken this out on like a 15-mile long run, being out there for a couple of hours, felt fantastic. Taking this on shorter, and it just keeps knocking it out of the park every time I pull it out. With the good, you do know there has to be some bad. And honestly, there's number one bad. Number one, this wing right here. Whoo-wee! I don't like it. North Face, I'm begging you. Get rid of the wing. When I left the shoe by itself and I left a regular insole in, I definitely could feel that plate. It didn't hurt me, but I felt that pressure on my foot. I then changed the midsole to a more, or insole to a better insole. The one they gave is paper thin. I'm talking about super thin. Replace it with an actual insole, no issues at all. I'm not having issues at all with the wing. But again, I shouldn't have to replace the insole. But if you want to try this shoe, I highly recommend getting a very nice insole. I've used one from Innovate, really nice, nothing too crazy, pops right in, and it's really nice. But without the insole, or yeah, that plate just kind of stinks. I just did not like the plate, honestly. I don't understand. I know they're saying it's for stability. I don't really get it. I really don't. I wish they would just get rid of it. The other thing too is, and again, this shoe's really made for, I wouldn't say the most gnarly of trails. I mean, like muddy trails. Gnarly trails, it handles that actually really well. Muddy, the lugs just aren't that deep. Maybe these are like 4 millimeter. I hit some really muddy sections, and I definitely felt the slipping and sliding. Again, this shoe is not meant to be one of those gnarly 5, 6 millimeter lug shoes that just eats it and you can just dig through it. But I do know a lot of you are going to be running races with a lot of mud. I just want to point that out. It's not a deal breaker, but I do need to point that out. On some muddy terrain, it just wasn't the best. Like, I'm talking about super sloppy muddy. It just kind of fell short a little bit. But honestly, that's it for me. That is it. The plate, it's a bummer, and it's definitely an issue. Better insole, it's not an issue anymore, but it is going to cost you a little extra to buy an extra insole. And then again, super muddy trails, it just kind of fell a little bit short. But honestly, overall, the Enduris 4 does a really nice job, especially those long days out on the trail. You heard the good, you heard the bad, and now you want to hear my verdict. Should you buy this shoe? First one, if you have a super wide shoe, I just don't think a extra insole is going to help. I think these wings or whatever, the wing plate, are just going to cause a lot of blisters and issues. Wide footers, sorry to tell you this, exit the room. Honestly, everybody else that's looking to go long and just wants to have a comfortable run, cruiser, lock the miles in, and just feel really good, I think this is a fantastic shoe. I really enjoyed it. When I made the update to the insole, game changer, it felt fantastic. So if you have a normalish to wideish foot, not wide, wideish, and you want to buy this shoe, just expect for $160 plus whatever you're going to have to do for an insole, this is going to knock it out of the park. Surprisingly, I think if you have a narrow foot, you're not going to have any issues. I don't think the wing plate's going to bother you at all. But again, my caveat is I loved the shoe, loved running in the shoe, but I needed an additional insole, which is kind of a bummer. North Face, I ask you two things. Either make your insole better or get rid of this plate. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Get rid of the plate. Honestly, I think this shoe just jumps into that next level. Still keep a plate, just get rid of the wing part of it. Just would take it to that next level. But again, even with having the issues with the wings and having to update the insole, I loved running this shoe. I mean, clearly look at this. This thing looks freaking worn. This thing has seen some trails. I really enjoy it. I'm still going to keep this in my rotation. I wouldn't even be surprised in my next race this is the shoe on me because I liked it that much. You heard the good, you heard the bad, and you heard my verdict. Now I want to hear from you. Have you tried the North Face Enduris 4? Did you like it? Did you love it? Hey, be honest with me. Did you hate it? Drop a comment down below. I definitely want to hear how your experience was. Thanks for checking out this latest review. And until next time, I'll see you all out on the run. Thanks for checking out this latest review. Don't forget, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and check out some of the other rad content that I've dropped out on the channel.